Hey everybody, Ryan here from Android Calls, and here I'm going to do my review on the ZTE Axon 7. This is their brand new flagship device. Recently came out for $520. You can get this at Newegg, and it's unlocked. So it's a pretty kick-ass device in terms of specs-wise, and I'll get into everything else later. First, I want to show off that it comes in this nice little square box. I don't know what it was, devices that come in square boxes, but really cool. So it's coming on a USB-C cable, quick charge 3 adapter, headphones, which I didn't use because this isn't my device. I don't want to be sending it back with my ear gunk in it. And it comes with a little case in there. This is cool. I didn't realize this until I just did this video, and I've had to record this video twice now. But it comes with a little clear case with a USB-C adapter and a little, that's your little SIM pin there. That's the box. Now, I want to compare this over to the ZTE Axon Pro. A much sturdier, much more solidly built sort of phone, a little heftier, and I kind of like that feature to it. But it has this camera button, which I didn't like. So this year they got rid of the camera button, and they just put the power button there. So the power button was there, now they moved it down some, and then moved the volume to the same side. I don't like that because the volume, I should have down there, because every time I go to put it in my pocket, I put it in my pocket and I do this, and it ends up going on. And it's just a pain in the butt. Yeah. The other thing that's different this year is the navigation keys. So the navigation keys down here, you'll see they're very widespread apart, and they light up. I don't know if you can really see that so well. I complained that they were really hard to touch because they're so wide apart. This year they're just little metallic little dots, and they're very close together, and I find that sometimes it's a little tough getting exactly where I want it to be. Going around the device, we also have the SIM tray in there, which is SIM tray and micro SD card, and the neat thing about the SIM tray here is that it can actually operate as a second SIM tray if you wanted to it, so you have two dual SIM if you need it. Fingerprint sensor, which is kind of nice. Tap it and works. And the NFC is in there. Now the NFC is really weak. I don't know why, but I have to get my right up on with the lenses for it to bring up. I don't know why that is so poor. But again, I've also found that other people online are doing the same thing. Like normally I could get about yay close and it should read it, but I have to like touch it and it'll read it. What else do we want to talk about here? Yeah, so the design is a little sleeker, which I like the sleekerness, but the curve is very subtle around it. I said to a friend, it'd be perfect if I want to just give it a skim across the lake. It would skip, I bet you, a bunch of times. But also means it's very slippery then. So hence why they probably have the case that's in there. Okay, I'm only talking about the specs, so we'll get into the specs in the written up article. I just want to talk about the things I liked and what I didn't like about it. Turn it on. The interface is much better this year. I kind of like looks more like stock, whereas last year it really looked like its own. But one of the pain in the butt things is that if you want to add, something there, and I want to add this thing on top of it, I want to make a folder. Oh, go back. You can't do that. You have to say, okay, we'll make this guy into a folder first, and then I have to make this guy in that folder. And it's just kind of a pain. Like it just seems like an unnecessary step you'd have to do. We can talk about here fast charging, which is really neat. The USB-C. This is a 3250 milliamp hour battery, which to me has lasted on average about 18 hours of usage time. Sort of a standard day, and then some, and that would be still even giving me about 2 to 3 hours still more of time. But what is interesting is that this is the only device I've used that I've plugged into the charger and used Ingress or Pokemon, and it would charge the battery and actually increase the battery percentage while you were using those kind of games, which I thought was just amazing, because normally you'd be lucky if you just kind of hovered around the same. So this actually is very good at charging very fastly. USB-C quick charge 3 should get you 100% in 100 minutes, so percent per minute. What it comes with for a keyboard is TouchPal, which I've talked about in this. And I gotta say, I cannot tell you how bad TouchPal is in terms of recognizing. I just non-stop making errors. The other thing is that they have is these built-in apps, like their email app or their texting app, right? Unfortunately, they do not work with Android Wear. So whenever you get a notification, it's kind of a pain in the butt that I can't do anything on Android Wear. I can't preview it in there. I have to actually go to it. So I think they could have done a little bit better in that job. I have to Google whenever I get a voicemail on my SIM. And it's neat how they always say which SIM card it comes from. But that icon for voicemail and SIM one just looks funny. Sometimes I find the fingerprint not quite so well, and it's kind of the same thing with the Moto G4. If it left it sitting for too long a time, just tapping it wouldn't bring it up, because I guess it's gone to sleep or something. So sometimes if I just tap it, I don't get that haptic feedback saying it didn't work. I'm just tapping in the back there, and sometimes it just works perfectly. I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, I've seen better. It's not bad, but I've definitely seen better. That's the important thing. When I have to answer a phone call that comes up, all it is just a screen with the little light for the phone icon, and then unless you're looking very carefully, the lights flashing around it are red up here and green down here. So if you click it and you start going that way, it starts getting redder and redder and redder. So you know, oh no, I don't want to hang up, I want to answer, and it just wasn't as intuitive, and it took a while, and it just seems weird to be up to hang up and down to, you know, I don't know, whatever. Just seemed not as intuitive as I would like it. One other thing that was kind of neat was if you end up playing games like Ingress or something, right, where you play the Ingress game, and if you power off, you power the screen back on, it comes back straight into the game without the lock screen. But if you try to leave the lock screen, you're going to have to enter any security, so your fingerprint or a PIN code. I've never noticed this before on other devices, so this is kind of neat. Oh, somebody took my portal. Who was that? No spark. So if I turn the power off, normally if I come back into it, I want to hit the home button to get away from it. I have to go to the lock screen, right? So let me just go back into the game. Okay, turn it off. Turn it back on. If I put my finger in the sensor now, it's unlocked it for me, so I can go back and go straight into the app. I think that was very neat. I don't know, I've never seen that with my G5 or the G4 having that kind of feature. So yeah, so there's a couple my pain in the butt things. I've got a lot more to talk about, and I'll try to do a second video just on those things. Okay, I have a full review on the website, so check it out there. Thanks so much.